In a previous video, I talked about this book and read a little bit from it. Alan Watts's The Book on the Taboo Against Knowing Who You Are. And the taboo is set up to keep you from knowing that you are not a separate ego in a world of otherness, that you are actually connected with everything. And this is actually the scientific point of view. Everything's connected, basically. And then a more esoteric idea that your consciousness, your awareness, that which looks out through your eyes and feels through your body and hears through your ears, that at core level is connected to that in everyone else, and that is actually God, essentially. This is an esoteric point of view that is shared in various forms by lots of different traditions and cultures and practices, philosophies. Related to everything I just said, this other book, which I also came across when I was pretty young, I don't know if it was in high school, it might have been college, by Douglas E. Harding. It's called A Contribution to Zen in the West, and the title is On Having No Head. He starts out dramatically. The best day of my life, my rebirthday, so to speak, was when I found I had no head. This is not a literary gambit, a witticism designed to arouse interest at any cost. I mean it in all seriousness. I have no head. And then he goes on to talk about a day in his early 30s. He was hiking in the mountains, and he says here, that was when he made his discovery. Though it certainly came out of the blue, it did so in response to an urgent inquiry. I had for several months been absorbed in the question, what am I? The fact that I happened to be walking in the Himalayas at the time probably had little to do with it, though in that country unusual states of mind are said to come more easily. However that may be, a very still, clear day and a view from the ridge where I stood over misty blue valleys to the highest mountain range in the world, with Kanchenjunga and Everest unprominent among its snow peaks, made a setting worthy of the grandest vision. What actually happened was something absurdly simple and unspectacular. I stopped thinking. A peculiar quiet, an odd kind of alert limpness or numbness came over me. Reason and imagination and all mental chatter died down. For once, words really failed me. Past and future dropped away. I forgot who and what I was, my name, my manhood, animalhood, all that could be called mine. It was as if I had been born that instant, brand new, mindless, innocent of all memories. There existed only the now, that present moment, and what was clearly given in it. To look was enough, and what I found was khaki trouser legs terminating downwards in a pair of brown shoes, khaki sleeves terminating sideways in a pair of pink hands, and a khaki shirt front terminating upwards in absolutely nothing whatever. Certainly not in a head. It took me no time at all to notice that this nothing, this hole where a head should have been, was no ordinary vacancy, no mere nothing. On the contrary, it was very much occupied. It was a vast emptiness, vastly filled, a nothing that found room for everything. Room for grass, trees, shadowy distant hills, and far above them snow peaks like a row of angular clouds riding the blue sky. I had lost a head and gained the world. It was all quite literally breathtaking. I seemed to stop breathing altogether, absorbed in the given. Here it was, this superb scene, brightly shining in the clear air, alone and unsupported, mysteriously suspended in the void. And this was the real miracle, the wonder and delight, utterly free of me, unstained by any observer. Its total presence was my total absence, body and soul, lighter than air, clearer than glass, altogether released from myself. I was nowhere around. And he goes on to talk about this experience, and it's essentially a gateway or a trigger to that state that I was talking about, the identification with the subject, essentially with the point of awareness, which evidently turns out to be nothing. And in turn, everything turns out to be the self. So it's a paradox kind of, and it's all God. These are the types of regions that I'm interested in, and this book continues to be a big inspiration to me, and it's this sort of I think it's been called the faceless gate. Just meditating with purely what you experience, not with any ideas about it. Don't let your idea of a head convince you that you really have a head in that state. See what it feels like. Anyway, this might be all nonsense to you, but it's I wanted to share some of the things going on in my headless head, whatever. Okay, thanks for watching.